Hey, Paul. Hey, Mary. How are you? Haven't seen you in a long time.
Indeed, Joe. Good to see you also.
There are some specific things that I think You Gotta Believe does that others don't do. You talk about some of the things that you do and how the idea was sparked.
Oh, the spark of the idea definitely is, I think, solely rests with Pat O'Brien, the founder of You Gotta Believe. He had been working in child welfare as I was, and I think Pat saw, and I saw also, how older kids in foster care simply got to age whatever, 18, 19, definitely 21, and then they would be on their own. And he said, this just is not right, because he saw the writing on the wall as to what happens to these young people. Oftentimes they run into homelessness along with survival by whatever means is necessary. I think Pat's voice was in my ear when I and my wife wanted to start a family. And we thought, well, there are a lot of kids out there, and we eventually adopted Keith. And a few years after that, then we adopted our daughter. It just took months and years, kind of lowering the wall of distrust. And it wasn't any magic parenting. It was just being there every day, year after year.
So I claim 14 kids.
Wow.
The important thing to me is they have somebody to reach out to. They have somebody who's picking up the phone. I often say my kids call for nothing.
Right.
Just to know that somebody's picking up the phone and asking them how they are. One piece of You Gotta Believe, of course, is that almost everybody is a credible messenger with personal experience. Either parents or alumni of the foster care system. And what they're doing is trying to give the kids the full picture, that all of them have their personal stories to talk about what the difference a permanent family has made in their life. The other thing that we do, at least monthly, is have an event where we have families with kids, and we have families who don't yet have kids who are attending, and then we have the kids who need families. It's for the kids to see that there are families that have been created by us that are working, and that there are adults who are interested in older kids. They need to see other success stories. They need to see that this really does work. And that's really part of why we call it You Gotta Believe. You gotta see it.
One of the things that I like to tell people about sort of my journey in this foster care adoption issue is that because there is nobody in my home, including myself, who didn't grow up in foster care, it worked for us and perhaps maybe works better. Is this really as unique as I want to believe it is?
The answer is yes. Rarely will we find a situation, Joe, like yours, where the parent actually has been, quote unquote, a graduate of foster care, so to speak, and then taken it on. You understand your kids better. You know kind of the struggles that they've gone through, some of the traumas. Doesn't mean that I'm sure your kids didn't drive you crazy at times.
Oh, sure.
They just are going to do that. They just have to work out their issues. My
mission in life is really to let people see that.
Yeah.
I really want people to understand, not always through a video where we're making waffles or,
Yeah.
It's not real.
People who want to be the perfect parent and people who see themselves with the perfect family, and it's not going to happen. This is hard work.
So how do you get people to understand that? Because people automatically are afraid of teens.
I think that's one of the key things that the parent preparation classes are. If we can get them in the door and we can start talking to them about teens and how the kids are okay, that sure, it's going to be tough, it's going to be hard, but so many of their issues aren't ones that you've caused. As a parent, you can be there, you can help them get through it.
Kids are just impulsive, and it's part of development. Some of it is so normal developmentally, and sometimes we get confused as what's a result of trauma and what's just normal development.
We just try to demystify the fact that teenagers are in a way, little kids emotionally in big bodies for a lot of them, and that they need parents just like anybody else. Unfortunately, it seems, Joe, that the default that the city, the feds, a lot of places is not really finding families for older kids. It's to teach them independent living skills.
To me, the foster care world is an insane little world organized and structured by professionals who think they know best. And the people who are most affected by it, they don't have a voice. The system is more crushing emotionally than I think their original trauma most of the time. I just think each one of these kids, and I say it all the time, they're like precious gems. And they just need somebody to step up and to be there for them.
I'm glad to be able to talk about this. I hope that people will see this and find an interest and reach out to You Gotta Believe or agencies like You Gotta Believe. What I hope that this conversation does is shed light or interest enough in the possibilities of becoming an adoptive parent or a forever home for a young adult or a teen.
A lot of folks think that this is not something that they can do. And we have to convince them that they can do it.
Don't let the barriers stop you. And there are a lot of barriers. The system itself puts up barriers, and you can get easily discouraged. And I tell people to keep your eye on the prize, which is the kid.
When we have folks come through and adopt an older kid and don't let them age out to nobody, I think we're saving their lives.
Absolutely. I feel very fortunate to be part of the You Gotta Believe family. I only wish that I could do more. So I'm going to try and do whatever I can, whenever I can. Keep up the good work, because we need it.
Yep.